It's been 183 days, but we actually have an NHL trade to discuss. It's a big one as well between the Penguins and the Leafs. We'll discuss the details coming up next. So welcome back to another video here at Top Shelf Hockey. Now, as you can see, of course, we've kind of broken the tradition here. We're not outdoors because we're currently in the middle of a thunderstorm. We actually just came inside in the last 15-20 minutes from recording a normal, regularly scheduled video for today. So you'll see that up on the channel here a little bit later, but of course we got that in, and of course here we are now inside because of the rain and the thunder. But we have a significant trade to discuss between the Maple Leafs and the Penguins. Of course, this is not a huge surprise, but it is something that is pretty significant here for both teams. The Toronto Maple Leafs have traded forward Kapanen along with some other pieces here, which include forward Pontus Aberg and prospect defenseman Jesper Lindgren over to the Pittsburgh Penguins in exchange for their 2020 first-round pick, which is number 15 overall. So that's a pretty good, mid-round pick. They're going to get a good player with that. They're also getting prospect Filip Hollander, who I know was drafted not that long ago and certainly seems to have a decent amount of potential as well. So he's a pretty good-looking prospect. They also get forward Evan Rodriguez, who Pittsburgh had acquired from Buffalo near the end of the season. Debatable what his role could be with the Leafs moving forward. They also get prospect defenseman David Warsawski. But the main pieces here, basically, you get Kasperi Kapanen going to the Penguins in exchange for a first-round pick from Pittsburgh, and the other parts are, fairly minor, except for Filip Hollander. I still think he's got a lot of potential here. And of course, Kasperi Kapanen was originally drafted by the Pittsburgh Penguins. He was traded to the Leafs in the Phil Kessel trade a few years back, so obviously he's done well in Toronto, but we've discussed numerous times that the Leafs are likely going to be shaking things up, and guys like Kapanen, Johnsson, Kerfoot are the primary, trade candidates here. Now, I personally thought if a trade was going to take place between the Leafs and the Penguins, it very well could have some other pieces involved, but this is a good trade for Toronto, and I think it's good for Pittsburgh as well. I think from the Toronto side, they get the really necessary, needed cap flexibility. They get a little bit of space there. The $3.2 million for Kapanen comes off the books. They get themselves the likelihood of getting a pretty good prospect with the number 15 overall pick. They also get Hollander, who I think is a pretty good-looking prospect as well. So they get some futures and some much-needed cap relief. Whereas the Penguins get somebody who can play on the wing in a middle six role, kill penalties, has good speed, and certainly looking for more of an opportunity than he's been able to get with the Leafs organization. And obviously somebody who they're already familiar with from his early days when he was first drafted and, gone through a little bit of time there with the Penguins organization before he was moved to the Leafs in that Kessel trade. So pretty substantial deal here. I mean, obviously, I know there's been lots of rumors, lots of talk recently here about what kind of moves these teams are going to make. I still think these teams are not done. I think we're going to see more from Toronto. I think we're going to see more from Pittsburgh. There's a lot of teams that are going to be active. It's going to be challenging due to the salary cap being flat, and we're going to see a lot of teams looking to move some money around and shake up their cores here to get better for next season. But certainly we'd love to know what your thoughts are on this trade from the Leafs perspective and the Pens perspective. Personally, I think it's a pretty good deal for both. And long term, the Leafs might actually come out winning this deal, really, depending on how they use the cap space and then how they use that first round pick. And then Hollander, if he works out to be a player for them as well. Long term, this could be a great deal for Toronto, but I can see the more immediate impact, at least from the Penguins side of this equation. So certainly let me know what your thoughts are down in the comments, and we can discuss further. If you're new to the channel, consider subscribing and turning on your notifications so you don't miss any future content. Stay tuned for my regularly scheduled video, which was recorded outdoors, coming a little bit later today as well. Thank you for watching, and I'll catch you next time.